Lots of us are passionate about our gardens. But what happens when that turns to an obsession? Well, that's the story of one amazing family here on the north coast of Tasmania, who over 2 generations have carved their dream garden straight out of the tough Aussie bush. Marley, Leslie, you're the sisters that are leading the charge into the 21st century. When did Mum and Dad start all this?
Oh, it was about 40 years ago they started, and they had a lot of fun. When they moved here, it was literally shack in a paddock.
Right. Caydale Lodge Gardens are just outside the town of Nieta, where the Crowden family have run a guest house since 1979. So it would have been pretty basic back then.
It was gravel roads and it's all logs, blackberries, blackwoods and rocks, lots of rocks. I think it grew a little bit more than they intended.
Now, as kids, what was it like growing up on a property that was just sort of like climbing Everest?
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
And it was.
Mum and Dad encouraged us in everything.
And find out what we love doing, and
It
it
just
was
turned
great.
out both of us was gardening. So.
Yeah, a bit of a family obsession. So,
Yes.
yeah, guaranteed to get carried away. But yeah, we tell Dad he should have less farm and more garden every year. So
We're working on it.
That's right. That's,
I can see that.
So welcome to the rockery.
This is enormous.
It is. We had a lot of fun building it.
Did you actually build it? I can't believe this is huge.
We sort of got a bit carried away.
160 tonne of rocks later.
We were only 15 and 17 at the time, and this was our first project.
Really?
So, yeah.
But the rocks have been fantastic because they hold the heat, and it definitely has made a really good microclimate.
Right. Well, just looking around some of these plants, you've got beautiful... In fact, there's a bit of a blue theme that's happening at the moment.
Absolutely.
You've got a juga over there,
Yep.
and the Lithodora up on the top.
Beautiful.
And in fact, it's right the way through the garden. Fantastic Aquiledias, granny bonnets. And then, of course, towers of the foxgloves. You've got to get up close because some of the plants, like there's a succulent, it's got the most exquisite colours and it's come into flower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Purple blob, is that what it's
Yeah.
called? Something like
Purple
that.
blob, isn't that a great name?
And it lives up to its reputation.
It is a garden for 4 seasons. In fact, the whole garden.
Yeah.
It changes a lot through
It does,
the year.
doesn't it?
It does.
Come on, we'll go and have a look at some more.
Sounds like a
Lovely.
plan. And you have a lot of fun with the garden. You sort of do a lot of pruning.
And the plants really respond well to it, and it gives you an opportunity to grow something different as well.
Yeah, you've got to be tough to be kind sometimes.
That's it. And so we'll lead Graham up the garden path.
Yeah.
All the azaleas, look at the colour.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we also have a 200-acre farm.
Right.
And so we've got 30 very spoilt Herefords and 30 very spoilt Texels.
And a huge bull.
There's a funny story behind this one, Graham. We had this dug out for a tennis court for about 14 years. And
After 10 years of no tennis court fence, we said, forget that, we'll turn it into a fernery instead.
Fernery it is, all these man ferns.
the waratahs.
How exciting is this? Now, everyone knows the New South Wales Waratah because it's the state floral emblem. But what you may not know is Victoria has its own species, and so does Tasmania. It's just beautiful. They all an amazing red. But over the last 30 years, they've been hybridising, and the end result is nearly 20 different colours. In fact, here in Tassie, there's also a yellow form. Waratah, sensational. You know, everybody loves a peony. Well, here at Caydale Lodge and Gardens, they have got dozens and dozens of varieties. Like these tree peonies, the flowers are huge and just absolutely glorious. Now, right through the garden, you'll see different colours, different shapes.
Feel like I'm flying.
Some of them are in tight bud, about to open. Once upon a time, you'd only see them in cold climate gardens. But last year, I bought 2 of them in our warm climate garden. And you know, they flowered perfectly. Maybe the Ito group, the ones that I've chosen, and the some that you can see here are looking brilliant, are the ones you could grow right around Australia. Now, at the end of the woodland is this amazing tree. That is a monkey puzzle pine from South America. What an absolutely stunning tree. But it's not just the plant selection that's so impressive at Caydale. Amalie and Leslie are also passionate at building things. Like this magnificent pear arbour. They also designed this lovely wisteria trellis. The sisters have demonstrated the perfect way to grow wisteria. This is the Japanese wisteria floribunda. So these flower spikes will end up about 1 metre long. Now, people worry about wisteria getting into an arbour and a structure and taking over it. But here, you make a frame like this, you grow the wisteria up the outside, and you can see the young plant is in a sort of a fan-like arrangement on wires. So they're growing up the wires and then over the top, on the top, not through it, not around it, but actually sitting on the top. So if you just prune that once a year, you don't have the damage and you get to see these beautiful flowers and stunning perfume.
I think
Probably not going to fit.
See, I knew this is where I'd find you.
Absolutely.
contemplating the next
I would
project.
have liked to have got it finished before you got here, but yeah, it didn't quite happen.
And they're straight as a die, they're absolutely perfect.
Dad taught us string lines and levels, and yeah, they sort of did all the stonework, and we just took it up from there.
Well, you've got stone walls from the front out on the road, right the way through the garden, up to the back here. Even the shed's been lined and beautifully covered in stone.
We are slightly stone obsessed sometimes. Well, one more than others.
As long as it's mixed with a bit of cement, she's happy.
Yeah.
So it's actually beautifully faced.
We reaped up a whole heap of tiles, so we sort of used the tiles as fill, and
recycled.
doesn't matter even how ugly the back of the rocks are, as long as they've got one decent front plate.
As long as the front is
And if you
looking
line
good.
them up to your string line, and I especially like the top, once you start to get the edge in and have your top.
Well, the stone wall will be perfect, just like this veggie garden. Pathways, you've got stone pathways going in, creating beautiful diamond garden beds.
Marley sort of talked us into stone paths, and about 1,000 hours later, it took us to do it.
You've got a terrific array of crops. What have you? I notice you've got rhubarb
Yeah,
and amazing leeks.
yeah.
Because we're a 60k round trip to the nearest supermarket, the more you grow, the easier it is.
We've always said homemade and homegrown.
Yeah,
so-
I like that.
Leslie loves all her alliums that are ornamental.
They're a beautiful wall of colour.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Well, I got to say, guys, it's just been the most joyful journey today. Thanks heaps for doing what you do and continuing on your family's tradition. It's fantastic.
Well, we love it, and
It's been a
we've
pleasure.
really enjoyed showing you around.
Well, it's just wonderful to catch up with you again. Australia, you've got to come and have a look at this. This is Caydale, just outside Nieta in Tassie. And you'll meet these 2 girls, they're just absolutely tops.